Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, can we unban Splinter Twin in Modern yet? And the answer is no, we can't unban Splinter Twin. Stop asking. Or at least that's what Wizards of the Coast's current stance on the matter is. The Splinter Twin Deceiver Exarch or Pestermite combo is one of the most iconic in Magic the Gathering history, as many Magic the Gathering players have fond memories of playing the deck in Modern and even a period in Standard. But as iconic as Splinter Twin certainly is, it's actually quite far from being one of the most powerful combos that you can pull off with the entire Magic the Gathering card pool. The Splinter Twin combo is entirely legal in Legacy, for example, and absolutely nobody plays it there. Combo lovers have had a lot of fun throughout Magic history, assembling broken, often unintuitive combinations of cards that sometimes slip through the cracks of Wizards of the Coast's design team. The first such iconic combo is Channel Fireball, the centerpiece to the first turn 1 win many Magic the Gathering players discovered back in Alpha. Play a mountain, then a Black Lotus, crack the Lotus for triple green, then cast Channel with a green and a red floating. Use that red and green plus 19 of your precious life points to cast Fireball, dealing 20 damage directly to your opponent's face before they even get to play a land. The Channel Fireball combo was so iconic it was chosen as the name for the most legendary pro Magic team of all time, and that team's Magic strategy website, of course. But if Splinter Twin doesn't come close to competing with the most broken combos ever, how does Channel Fireball stack up? What even are the most broken combos in Magic the Gathering history? How would one even create a ranking system for that? So glad you asked. Here's how I'd do it. To qualify, a combo has to either win the game deterministically, or at least deterministically create a one-hit kill threat that must be answered by your opponent, otherwise you, well, hit once and kill them. The combo must also be compact. A convoluted series of multiple cards certainly can form a deterministic combo, but the requirement of that many moving parts tends to keep these strategies sufficiently in check. Lastly, the combo must be capable of winning the game out of nowhere, even when you're behind on board. That last criteria dooms the Channel Fireball combo, iconic and broken as it is, since that combo requires you to be at 20 life in order to pull it off. What's more, a single lightning bolt, heck, even a gut shot from your opponent will end your whole career. But with that criteria established, what are the most broken combos in Magic history? Well, with only a little bit of further ado, let's take a look. But first, did you know that Wizards of the Coast has declared Secret Rendezvous a crime? That's right, with the introduction of the crime mechanic in Thunder Junction, targeting another player is now considered a criminal offense. That means Wizards of the Coast doesn't want you sneaking off to a hidden cove with a commander partner to make them draw cards with you. In this new surveillance state, it can be really hard to play a game of webcam commander with your special someone without someone else watching, but now you can with today's sponsor, NordVPN. Just check out nordvpn.com/Tolarian community today to protect your cybersecurity. But Professor, you might be asking, why do I need NordVPN on my computer, phone, or other electronic device? I don't do anything risky online. Sure you don't. You know, the internet truly is the last Wild West, and threats to your cybersecurity are great at avoiding detection. Even if you're just looking at deck lists, scouring new set releases, or trying to download Magic Arena, you could come in contact with malware like Trojan, Worm, or another virus without even knowing it. First, you notice your devices start running slower than it normally does. Then you realize your data is getting drained faster than it used to. All of a sudden, you notice your online accounts have sent messages to your friends that you absolutely did not send. With NordVPN threat protection, you can protect your electronic device from malware and other cybersecurity threats. What's more, if you sign up right now at nordvpn.com/Tolarian community, you can get a 2-year NordVPN plan at a huge discount and 4 additional months for free. NordVPN cares so much about limiting your online risk that you can even sign up risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. What a deal! Again, that's nordvpn.com/Tolarian community, or just click the link in the description below to get protected with NordVPN today. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video. First up on our list is Dark Depths and Thespian Stage, often referred to as Depths Stage or just Depths. To explain how this combo works, allow me to direct you to this script's writer, Jesse Robkin, who had a succinct explanation in an early episode of Shuffle Up and Play.
I'm going to tap 2 mana, and I'm going to activate Thespian Stage. I'm going to copy Dark Depths, which is a little weird because this is a legendary land. So what's going to happen is I make a copy of Dark Depths. The first thing that will happen is the legend rule will happen. So I get to pick one of these 2 Dark Depths I would like to keep. I'm going to keep the Thespian Stage. The Dark Depths will sacrifice itself. Now this, as a copy of Dark Depths with no counters on it, sacrifices itself too. And I'm going to put a 2020 Merit Lage token into play. She rises from her slumber.
Ooh. I will
You're going to do something?
tap.
But I have a Merit Lage.
Depths Stage is the closest combo on this list to being non-deterministic, since technically all Depths Stage does is put a 2020 Flying Indestructible creature token into play. Yeah, 2020 Flying Indestructible, that's all. But the combo is strong enough to make the cut because it technically doesn't require you to cast any spells. You just have to make land drops. There's also a bevy of cheap ways to tutor for lands in Magic's vast card pool, which makes this combo by far the most redundant. Crop Rotation can find you a land at instant speed for a single mana, while Expedition Map is tutorable off Urza's Saga, a common theme you'll notice in a couple of these combos. A single Elvish Reclaimer or Knight of the Reliquary can also set both pieces of this combo up, as well as tutoring for Sajiri Step to give your Merit Lage protection from removal. Certain colors struggle to interact with the combo at all, as the discard spells of black mana, the counter spells of blue mana, and the removal spells of red mana are all effectively useless. Not even a stifle effect on the Dark Depths trigger works because the self-sacrifice clause is a state-based action that will simply trigger again after the stifle resolves. That being said, there are still a few ways you could interact with this combo. One method is instant speed land hate like Wasteland or Bosaiju, though this is only a temporary solution because of the existence of cards like Life from the Loam. Pairing land destruction with surgical extraction is very effective though. Another method is instant speed exile and bounce-based spot removal, as well as Diabolic Edict effects, provided of course your opponent doesn't have additional sack fodder. Spot removal is vulnerable to instant speed land tutors that fetch up a Sajiri Step though. And of course, there is always the classic Pithing Needle naming Thespian Stage, if you manage to get it down before they get this combo off. Dark Depths also holds the notable position of most powerful combo, consisting solely of cards in a modern legal set. That clip from Shuffle Up and Play was, of course, our No Ban List Modern episode, and anytime a No Ban List Modern tournament occurs, Dark Depths is consistently a top performer, competing with Eye of Ugin Eldrazi and Hogak, two of the most infamously broken decks in modern history. Number 4 on the list is responsible for one of the most powerful legacy decks ever. Breach Freeze, the combo of Underworld Breach, Brain Freeze, and a 0-cost mana-producing artifact like Lion's Eye Diamond. Underworld Breach set off alarm bells when it was previewed, and for good reason. It's not hard to produce enough escaped fodder to turn this card into essentially a better, cheaper Yawgmoth's Will. Underworld Breach lets you cast spells from your graveyard by paying an additional cost of exiling 3 cards from your graveyard. Combined with a card like Lion's Eye Diamond, you can generate tons of mana and storm count by repeatedly activating and recasting your 0-cost mana producer. You'll need plenty of extra cards in your graveyard to keep doing this, but Brain Freeze neatly completes this combo. By targeting yourself, you can easily mill enough cards to keep the combo going, and by targeting an opponent, you can end the game via mill. The deck could even win on turn 1 if your opening hand had a land, plus a Lotus Petal, plus a Breach, plus a Freeze, plus a Lion's Eye Diamond. And that is only 5 cards, so you even had room to protect it with Force of Will, plus a blue card. The combo isn't without risk though, as Lion's Eye Diamond decks often are. If your opponent times its interactions well, it could leave you with an empty hand when your combo busts up. But the deck is ultra consistent, lightning fast, and is easy to protect either with Force of Will or by splashing an additional color. Black for Thoughtseize, white for Teferi or Silence, Silence, or green for Veil of Summer. Counter Magic, Graveyard Hate, Enchantment Removal all theoretically stop this combo, but the combo kills so quickly and consistently that you don't have much time to find or assemble these things. And the combo deck has many ways to protect itself and clear problematic hate pieces. The combo proved to be so powerful that Breach Freeze was banned in Legacy after only 45 days of legality. These days, the combo is only legal in Commander, where it really only sees play in competitive EDH. And of course Vintage, where Breach is not restricted, and you can use Black Lotus instead of Lion's Eye Diamond to pull off the combo. And speaking of CEDH, coming in at number 3 is the classic Oracle Demonic Consultation combo. For those of you fortunate enough to not know what the Oracle Consult combo is, I almost don't even want to explain it to you. It would be like shattering a pristine ice sculpture, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Cast Thassa's Oracle, then, with the trigger on the stack, cast Demonic Consultation, and, here's the only fun part of this combo, name any card in Magic history that isn't in your deck. Some favorite cards of mine to name are You Are Already Dead and Abandon Hope. But with Outlaws of Thunder Junction now legal, might I recommend Holy Cow? The scourge of high-power EDH tables, Oracle Consultation is the pinnacle of obnoxious broken combos. Costing just 3 total mana and requiring only 2 cards, it's very easy to set up the combo with the protection of Counter Magic or even a preemptively cast Silence. It's also extraordinarily hard to interact with. Spot removal is useless, since once the oracles enter the battlefield triggers on the stack, your devotion to blue can be 0 and still win if you have an empty library. The best counterplay is to stifle the Oracle trigger after the consultation resolves, since that will cause the Oracle player to lose to decking. Alternatively, you can force the Oracle player to draw a card after the consultation resolves and their library is empty, such as with Baleful Mastery or activating a Loran of the Third Path. If you can't do either of these things, then Counter Magic is your next best bet. You can also just cast a Dress Down before Thassa's Oracle resolves, which will remove its Enter the Battlefield effect. One of the few places this combo was ever legal outside of EDH is a very brief period in Historic after Strixhaven was released. That combo used Tainted Pact instead of Consultation, but accomplished essentially the same thing, provided you don't have more than 1 copy of any given card in your deck. You can even play 2 Oracles and 2 Tainted Pacts in the deck to find the combo more consistently, since you're guaranteed not to have 2 in deck when you combo. Predictably, the singleton restriction of this deck was not enough to weaken it, and Thassa's Oracle was banned in Historic about a month after Strixhaven dropped. Alright, I won't dwell on Oracle Consult any longer. We all know it and nobody likes it. But it is wild just how broken a card Thassa's Oracle is, that this relatively young combo can go toe-to-toe with some of the other names on this list. Now, you could make a very compelling argument that number 2 on our list should really be number 1. After all, when many Magic the Gathering players think about broken combos, this is the combo that most often comes to mind. I'm referring, of course, to the Key Vault combo. Time Vault plus Voltaic Key, or Manifold Key, or any other method of repeatedly untapping the Time Vault. Time Vault is a weird card from the original Alpha set that allows you to take an extra turn at the cost of skipping a turn. It enters tapped, and you can't untap in your untap step unless you skip a turn. But if you use something like Voltaic Key, or again, Manifold Key, you can untap the Time Vault without that cost every turn, which means with these 2 cards in play, you can take infinite turns. Time Vault has been the subject of much scrutiny over the entirety of Magic's existence. Alpha cards are not exactly known for having the most coherent rules text, so the original wording of Time Vault was a bit vague. To untap it, you must skip a turn could mean in order to untap the Time Vault in your untap step, you must skip the turn, or it could mean that you must skip a turn anytime you untap it. After all, Richard Garfield surely didn't intend for Time Vault to make for easy infinite turns, right? right? As written, it certainly seems like the skip a turn clause only applies to the untapped phase. This interpretation was therefore the one most people agree on, which is why in 1994, Time Vault became the first card to ever be banned for power level reasons. Over the next 15 or so years, Wizards of the Coast attempted to fix Time Vault many times with many erratas to its text, some of which accidentally only made the card even more broken than it was before. Eventually, in 2008, the card was restored to its original interpretation, and the original broken combination of Vault plus Key was allowed to exist in Vintage, though Time Vault itself was restricted. The combo reached a new power level once Urza's Saga was printed in Modern Horizons 2. See, you need to play enough untappers in your deck to consistently find them and execute the combo. The problem is the various key variants are not particularly powerful cards outside of their interaction with Time Vault, so putting multiple copies in your deck has a real cost. Any copy you draw after the first is completely useless. Urza's Saga single-handedly fixes this problem, as its third chapter can tutor up your key. A deck with 4 Urza's Sagas and 1 Manifold Key is really a deck with 5 Manifold Keys, where 4 of them are legitimately powerful Magic cards on top of the redundancy they provide. The fact that Vault Key is still a good deck in Vintage despite Vault being restricted is a testament to this combo's power. But as broken and consistent as the Vault Key combo is, it's still not the #1 most broken combo in Magic the Gathering history. That title belongs to Flash Hulk. No, not Torrential Gear Hulk. Yes, I realize it has Flash, but Flash Hulk refers to the combination of the literal card Flash combined with Protean Hulk. As was the case with most of the combos on this list, this combo resolves around a card doing something that its designers didn't intend. Flash was a card that was meant to give creatures Flash. It was fair because it still made you pay the creature's full mana cost. The problem was there are many Magic the Gathering creatures that are as good as or better when they die than they are when they live. Cards like World Spineworm and Woodfall Primus, for example, are fantastic cards to flash in and not pay for. But by far the most broken thing to do with Flash is put a Protean Hulk into play. When Protean Hulk dies, you get to put creatures into play from your deck with total mana value of 6. When you stop and think of all the creatures in Magic history, it's not hard to assemble a game-winning combo that totals 6 mana value. You could kill with 4 Virulent Slivers and a Heart Sliver to attack for lethal poison damage, since instances of poisonous stack. Or if you'd like to win at instant speed without needing the combat step, you can use a creature package like 1 Body Double, 1 Carrion Feeder, or another 1 Mana Sack Outlet, 1 Revelark, and 1 Mog Fanatic. You may notice that is 12 mana, not 6, but that's because you first get Body Double and Carrion Feeder. Body Double enters as a copy of Hulk, which you then sack to your feeder and get an additional Hulk death trigger. Fetch Revelark and Mog Fanatic, then sack the Mog Fanatic to ping your opponent, and sack the Revelark to your Carrion Feeder. Revelark returns Fanatic and Body Double. Body Double this time copies Revelark, which allows you to demonstrate this loop and deal infinite damage to your opponent. This combo could legitimately win on turn 0. That is, on your opponent's upkeep when they go first. Put a Gemstone Cavern into play, then exile a Simian Spirit Guide or Elvish Spirit Guide in order to cast Flash. Again, this is turn 0 during your opponent's upkeep. But if you do manage to cast Flash, you put in Protean Hulk, and there you go, game is over. Your opponent wasn't even able to play a single land, and they were on the play. Flash Hulk is a 5-card combo, Gemstone Cavern plus Spirit Guide plus Flash plus Hulk plus any card to pitch to the cavern, where the only deck building cost is putting a single copy of each of the 4 Hulk tutor targets in your deck. Sure, you lose if you draw any of them, but this deck wins so quickly, so easily, that there won't be time to draw them. Flash was banned in Legacy in 2007, but remained unrestricted in Vintage for another year. The combo was so broken in that format that many players confidently called it not just powerful, and not just extremely powerful, but, well, Former SCG writer and one-time Vintage World Champion Stephen Menendian went on record in 2008 calling the Vintage Flash Hulk deck the most powerful and consistent deck in the history of Vintage. 3 months later, Flash was restricted in Vintage, and amazingly, it took until 2020 for Flash to be banned in Commander. Though, to be fair, Protean Hulk had spent a long time on the banned list itself before being unbanned in 2017. All the combos on this list are broken to some degree or another. The top 3 are particularly broken, requiring minimal mana investment to win the game instantly in the earliest turns of the game. But given that Flash Hulk only needs to cast one of its 2 halves, and that half is a 2-mana instant, the centerpiece for the most powerful Vintage deck ever takes the cake for the most broken combo ever in Magic history. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think of this list? Do you think I left some broken combos off? Or are there other broken combos that, while not the most powerful in Magic's history ever, you think deserve their own place in the spotlight? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've ever wanted to see our Build Your Own Precons in action, well, we had a shuffle up and play with Build Your Own Precon versus Build Your Own Precon, TCC's final showdown, and you can check that episode out here if you have not already done so. And remember, whether you want to defend against malware, stream TV shows only available in other countries, or just have secret rendezvous and do webcam magic crimes, NordVPN is here to look out for you. What's more, if you sign up right now at nordvpn.com/Tolarian community, you can get a 2-year NordVPN plan at a huge discount and 4 additional months for free. What a deal! Again, that's nordvpn.com/Tolarian community, or just click the link in the description below to get protected with NordVPN today. Thank you, NordVPN, for sponsoring this video.
Nächstes Mal bei Shuffle Up and Play.
I can't remember what we're doing today because what we're doing today is playing Forgetful Fish.
The format is formally named Forgetful Fish, but this is informally called Dan Dan. I always thought Dan Dan were the boats.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, this is Dan, and that's Dan as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
with Dan.
The core conceit is that we both share a deck. We'll go to combat right away, so I'm gonna swing with Dan Dan. In the
I
red zone.
will take the
Whoa.
first damage. I will roof one of these.
Basically, it's a blue mage's dream. I'm gonna cast Chart a Course.
I would like to respond. I would like to crack this fetch land.
In response, Brainstorm.
In response, Narset's reversal.
In response, this is so good. Dan Dan rules.